So we will be talking about the calculation for the carrier concentration in the conduction band and in the valence band. So how many holes are there in the valence band at a particular temperature? How many electrons are there in the conduction band at a particular temperature, or for the intrinsic or the extrinsic semiconductor? Okay, so these things we will be looking at in this lecture. Okay, so let's first calculate the carrier concentration in a small given range. Okay, so let's say this is the energy level E. Okay, so let's say this is the energy level E. Okay, and we need to find the carrier concentration in this small range of energy which is around this energy level E. Okay, so this is the very small energy range. Now we need to find how many electrons or the carrier concentration is there in this small range. Okay, in order to find the carrier concentration in this dE energy range, there are two factors which we need to look at. First is how many number of states are there in this energy range. Okay, now so this is the first factor. Okay, now what is the state? So if you remember, in the first class we discussed state is just the quantum state, and quantum state is just the empty space to hold an electron. Okay, so space to hold an electron. So this is just the empty space. It's like the room where empty room where the person can live. So this is the empty space for the electron. Okay, if that space is empty, that means a hole is there. Okay, so how many states are there? This is the first thing. And second factor is what is the probability of finding an electron at this energy level E. Okay, so what is the probability that electron can occupy a particular state around this energy level E or at this energy level E. Okay, so this is the same thing. Okay, so when we are talking about this small range dE, then we are only interested the finding the probability of the of an electron at this energy level E. Okay, so for this energy level energy range dE, this probability would be the same. Okay, now okay, these are the two factors. So it's like, let's say there are the 10 empty states. 10 empty states are there. 10 empty states means there are 10 space to hold the 10 electrons. Okay, but we are given that only the 30% is the probability to fill up that space by an electron at this particular energy level E. So 30% means 30 by 100. Okay, so the number of electrons in this particular energy range would be 3 electrons. Okay, so this is the simple mathematics we are going to do in this whole video lecture. Okay, so first we will be looking at the number of states in the conduction band or in the valence band in order to find the number of electrons or the holes in the conduction band or the valence band. Okay, and once we know the total number of states in a particular band, then we will be looking at the probability of finding an electron at a particular energy level in the conduction band or the valence band. Okay, the same concept will be going to the valence band when I'm discussing it for the conduction band. Okay, so we will be looking at these two factors in this lecture. Okay, so let's first look at the total number of states in the conduction band or the valence band first. So we will be introducing one terminology which is the density of states. Now the density of states in this particular energy level E. So okay, let's say this is the particular energy level E, and around this energy level del E we need to find the density of states. We need to find the density of states. Now what is the density of states at a particular energy level E? So first of all, the density of state is depending on a particular energy level E. Okay, so at each energy level there would be different density of states. Okay, now so density of states means the number of states per unit volume. Okay, and at particular energy level we are interested in this small del E energy level. Okay, so del E energy range, so this would be divided by this del E. Okay, so this is the density of states at a particular energy level E. Okay, around this del E energy range. Now so this is the kind of d of E at a particular energy level E. Now once you will multiply this d of E with this small range del E, then you will be finding the total number of states. So you can see this is the total number of states per unit volume, okay, in this del E energy range. Okay, so once we know how many states are there in this del E energy range, then we can integrate the total number of in order to find the total number of states. So let's say if we want to find the total number of states in the conduction band, then we will be integrating from EC to the whatever the top of the conduction band is there. Okay, so then we can find the total number of states in the conduction band. Similar concept will be there for the valence band. Okay, now this is the expression for this density of states, which we need not to remember. Okay, so this is for E greater or equal to EC. So this will be the graph. As you can see, as the energies are increasing above this EC energy level, the density of states D is increasing non-linearly. Okay, similarly below this energy level EB, the density of states would be increasing. So you can see this diagram also. Okay, so kind of non-uniformly these energy states are increasing, and just remember, states are just the space to hold the electrons. Okay, so this is the concept of density of states. Now, and remember the number of states, we need to calculate the number of states, not the density of states. So number of states would be D of E multiplied with whatever the energy range we are interested in. Yes, so this would be the number of total number of states. Now the second thing is, what is the probability? Okay, so you can see so here I have drawn this pictorially. You can see these are the number of states. Okay, so these are the states. So each space is the state which can hold an electron. So you can see there are 3 space or the 3 states available. Similarly, here are the 5 states. So as the E energy level is increasing, the number of states are increasing. Okay, so you can see number of states are increasing in this manner. Okay, similarly for the hole also. So number of states would be increasing below this energy level AB, and in between these EC and AB, simply it is the energy gap. Okay, now what is the position of EC and what is the position of EB? We do not need this because we are interested only the EC minus EB. Okay, that is fine. Now let's look at the probability of finding an electron in this particular state. Okay, so you can see these are the empty states and these are the filled states. Okay, fine. Now the probability is given by this Fermi direct distribution. Okay, this is the second factor we are discussing. So the probability of an electron is filling a particular state at energy level E is given by this formula or this Fermi direct distribution. So you can see there are 3 electrons which are occupying the 3 states. Okay, and these states are empty. Okay, so don't take these numbers literally, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so here are only the 2 states occupied, here most of the states are occupied, you can see. Okay, and these spaces are just the states which can hold the electrons. Okay, so the distribution of these electrons in this energy range is given by this Fermi direct distribution. So this f of E will be the probability. So probability is between the 0 and 1. Okay, so it will be between the 0 and 1, and it is depending on the temperature. Just remember temperature, and this is the EF. So EF we call the Fermi energy. Okay, Fermi energy or the Fermi level. Now the definition of this Fermi level we will be looking at the next slide, but for now you just remember this is the reference energy by which with respect to we are calculating this E minus EF. Okay, so f of E, so again let me tell you, let me remove this. So this f of E will be giving you the probability of filling up a particular state by an electron. Okay, so what is the probability that the particular state or the particular energy level, or sorry, the particular state at energy level E will be filling up by an electron. So this is the Fermi Dirac distribution is giving me. Okay, fine. Now let's look at one more picture. So this is the value of K. So K is just the Boltzmann constant. Okay, so this is the value for this Boltzmann constant. Okay, and EF is the Fermi energy, which I will be discussing in the next slide. Okay, so this will be giving you the probability. Okay, so let's look at this case for the semiconductor silicon. Now at T is equal to 0 Kelvin, we looked at that all the states in the valence band are completely filled and all the states in the conduction band are empty. Okay, so if you can see, remember this EF would be somewhat between the EC and EB for all the semiconductors at any temperature, almost in between. Okay, so let's say this is the EF energy level. Okay, this is the reference energy for now. Now if you see, all the electrons are filled up below this EF energy levels at T is equal to 0 Kelvin. Okay, so the probability of finding an electron at a particular energy level E in this valence band would be 1 because all the states are filled. Okay, so this is the F of E for an electron. Okay, so if you see this diagram, so this would be F of E for electron and this is the simply energy. Okay, so if you can see, this graph is similarly like this. Okay, so this is the energy level EF. Okay, and this is value 1. Okay, and this is value simply 0. Okay, so you can see all the states below this EF energy level, are filled up. Okay, so the probability of finding an electron below this EF energy level at T is equal to 0 Kelvin is 1. Okay, and the probability of finding an electron above this EC energy level, or for this above this EF energy level, because there are no energy levels between this EF and the EC, so we can say that above this EF energy level there would be probability would be the 0 to find an electron at particular energy level E. Okay, in the conduction band. So this is the case at T is equal to 0 Kelvin. Okay, so this, let me again make it. So this is kind of a abrupt step function. Okay, this is the EF energy level, this is the probability of electron. Okay, and this is 0. Okay, that is fine. Now let's look at the temperature which is greater than 0. So what will happen when you will increase the temperature beyond the 0 Kelvin? Some of the electrons will be moving up into the conduction band. Now we will be having non-zero probability of finding an electron above this EC energy level. Yes, because when we will increase the temperature, there would be some electrons which will be moving from the valence band to the conduction band. Okay, and you can also look at this factor mathematically. Okay, I gave you the physical meaning, so you just put the T is equal to 0 here. So if you will put the T is equal to 0 Kelvin, and if you take the E is greater than EF, then you will be seeing that at T is equal to 0 Kelvin, for the energy E greater than EF, it will be like positive, it would be infinity. Okay, so this would be infinity, and 1 upon 1 plus infinity would be simply 0. Okay, so the probability of finding an electron above the energy level EF would be 0. Okay, so you can calculate this mathematically also, and if you take this E less than EF at T is equal to 0, so E minus EF would be minus negative. Okay, so it would be negative, and negative divided by 0 would be negative infinity. Okay, so let me remove this to make it clear for you. Okay, so at E less than EF, it would be negative, and at T is equal to 0, it would be tends to minus infinity. Okay, and 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus infinity would be simply 1. Okay, because e to the power minus infinity is 0. So you can look at this factor mathematically also, but you can easily see there would be no electron at T is equal to 0 Kelvin beyond this EF energy level, so the probability would be 0. Okay, so at T greater than 0 Kelvin, there would be somewhat probability and it will be non-zero, and you can see the graph is we are having the non-zero probability, so this is the probability. Okay, so instead of having this case, we are having the non-zero probability here. Okay, so you can also look at this when the temperature is non-zero, and if you take the E greater than EF, then there would be non-zero probability. Okay, you can also calculate this mathematically. Okay, so okay, that is fine. Now for the case of the hole in the valence band, so if we want to find the probability of finding a hole in the valence band at a particular energy level E, or you can say probability of not finding an electron in the valence band at a particular energy level E, so you can calculate it by 1 minus probability of finding an electron at energy level E. Okay, so if you will calculate 1 minus f of P, then you will be getting this expression. Okay, so this expression you will be getting, and this is the graph which you will be getting. So this is at T greater than 0 Kelvin. Okay, not at T is equal to 0 Kelvin. So that is fine. I just wanted to give you some picture. Okay, now once we have these two factors, the density of states, or sorry, the number of states in this conduction band or in the valence band, and the probability distribution function, or the Fermi-Dirac distribution, then we can just multiply these two factors, density of states and the Fermi-Dirac distribution for the holes and for the electrons. Okay, so if you will multiply these two factors, you will be getting the electrons. So once you will be multiplying this d of E times this Fermi-Dirac distribution function for the electrons, then you will be getting this n of E, which is the electron concentration in the conduction band. And if you multiply this d of E with this f of h of E, which is the Fermi-Dirac distribution function for the holes, then you will be getting the concentration for the holes in the valence band. Okay, now in order to find the total number of electrons and the total number of holes, you need to integrate. Okay, so just remember this d of E times this dE was the number of states in the dE energy range. Yes, and if you will multiply this Fermi-Dirac distribution function for the electrons, and if you will integrate it from the EC to any, so this will be the integration. Okay, from EC to whatever the top of the we do not know where is the top of the conduction band, so for sake of the simplicity, let's say E top. Okay, and similarly for the hole, so d of E times this dE would be the number of states in the dE energy range, and if you will multiply it with the f of E for the holes, then you will be getting, and after integrating you will be getting the number of total holes. Okay, so you have to like kind of from E below of this valence band to the EV. Okay, for this much of the energy range you have to integrate it. Okay, now we will not be integrating, or we will not be describing this expression for the integration, but we will be finding a simple way to calculate these electrons and the holes in a particular band. Okay, so we will be introducing a concept called effective density of states. Okay, now what is effective density of states? So if you remember, if you just consider that this band of the energy is very small, so you can say all of these states which you can see here, all of these states you can say these are at this edge of the conduction band. Okay, so if you just consider all of the states, energy states at this energy level only, so instead of distributing all these states in this conduction band, you just say all the states are available in this at this energy EC energy level, or the edge of the conduction band. And similarly, if you consider all of the energy states at this edge of the valence band EB, okay, so you can say the effective density of states is given by this NC for the electrons, and effective for the conduction band, sorry, and for the holes or for the valence band, the effective density of states would be given by this NB. Okay, so this is kind of a easy way to escape the integration. So now we are only having, instead of the range of the energy, we are only calculating the electrons at this particular energy level. We can opt out from this integration. We can say the number of electrons would be simply effective density of states. So still this would be giving the total number of states for the electrons to hold, and the multiplying with the Fermi-Dirac distribution function. And remember, now the Fermi-Dirac distribution function was depending on the energies E, but now we are only interested at this energy level EC. So we will be calculating this Fermi Dirac distribution function at this EC energy level. Okay, so now this NC times this F of E at this EC energy level would be giving up the total electrons in the conduction band. Okay, similarly the NV times the Fermi Dirac distribution function at EV energy level, so this would be giving up the total holes in the valence band. Okay, now the expression for the NC and NV are already written here, and these are the already expressed in the many books. Okay, so you can see this NC and NV are depending on this ME star. Okay, these are the effective mass and the effective mass for hole. So you can see this is depending on the effective mass and this temperature T. Okay, so these are the expression for the NC and NV. Each term is written here. These are the effective mass for electron, MH the effective mass for holes, H is the Planck's constant, K is the Boltzmann constant, T is the absolute temperature. Okay, and the value for this NC and NV at the room temperature is given by this. Okay, for the silicon semiconductor, and so we can say the number of electrons in the conduction band would be NC multiplied with this F of P, and the holes in the valence band would be NV times this F of H at this EV energy level. Okay, now we will be simplifying one more expression, which is the Fermi Dirac distribution function. So okay, till now we have found out that the electrons in the conduction band is the carrier concentration in the conduction band is given by this expression. Okay, but you can see, okay, so this is the Fermi distribution formula. Okay, the Fermi Dirac distribution formula. Now this is what we call the Boltzmann expression. Okay, Boltzmann expression. What is the Boltzmann expression? So if you just consider E minus EF is greater equal to KT, then you can consider this statement is equal to this E to the power minus this something. Okay, so F of E can be written in this term if you consider E minus EF is greater equal to KT. Okay, so this is what we call Boltzmann approximation. Okay, approximation. So Boltzmann approximation approximate this probability distribution formula with this expression. But remember, this is only valid for this condition. When the E minus EF is greater equal to KT, then only we can write this expression. Okay, so if you see this Boltzmann approximation, then you can see this expression would be given by this red line. Okay, while the original expression for the Fermi Dirac distribution was given by this blue line. Okay, so you can see these two are equal only till this point. Okay, till this point. Beyond this point, these two are very different. Okay, you can see that. So you can say when E minus EF is greater equal to KT, okay, that means the E is the energy level is nearby these energy levels EC and the EV. Okay, if the E energy level is very deep from this energy level EC, then this expression would not be valid. Okay, so you can see around the 3 KT. So if the E minus EF is around 3 KT or beyond this 3 KT, then you can approximate this Boltzmann approximation. Remember this equation F of H of E equal to 1 minus F of E of E. So the Fermi Dirac distribution function for the holes cannot be calculated by this expression. Okay, once you approximate this expression by Boltzmann approximation. Okay, that is fine. So once you take into consideration these Boltzmann approximation, then you can write the number of electrons is given by this expression, which would be given by this expression NC times e to the power this expression. Okay, and if you say similarly for the holes, it would be given by this NV times F of P. Okay, now if you consider E of F is equal to E of F of I, that means the Fermi level for the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so once you will put EF is equal to EF of I, then this NC times this e to the power minus EC minus EF of I would be given by this NI, which would be the intrinsic electronic concentration. Okay, so once you put this EF is equal to EF of F of I, so the Fermi energy level for the intrinsic semiconductor, then you can say N. So let me write it. So N of I would be Nc times e to the power minus Ec minus EFI, okay, divided by KT. Okay, and for any extrinsic semiconductor, this EF would be the general EF. Okay, okay, that is fine. So once you multiply, once you will multiply these two factors, so you can say for the intrinsic semiconductor, you can say these N and the P are the same. Okay, so the Ni would be equal to the Pi. Okay, and if you will multiply this N times P, you will be seeing this Np is equal to Ni square, and which is given by NcNv. So these are the formula. You can see, you can verifying this formula by just multiplying this N and P, then you will be looking at that this is equal to the Ni square. Okay, and this expression we will be looking at in the next lectures also. Okay, so this is only valid at the thermal equilibrium. Okay, so this is the mass action law. Sometimes we call this mass action law. So this expression I will be looking at in the next classes also, but you just remember Np is equal to Ni square, okay, which is given by this. So you can see now the intrinsic concentration Ni is depending on this band gap Eg and the temperature T. Okay. So from here, this expression is very, very important. So you can take the under root, square root on both of the sides. You can calculate the Ni concentration from here. Okay. So the last slide is there. So this is the expression for the N. Okay. Now for the Ni, the expression would be similar, but instead of EF, it would be EF of I. Okay. So all of the formulas I have written down here just to make it simple. So you can just expand this formula. Okay. So instead of EC minus EF, you can write it EC minus EFI and EF minus EFI. Then you will be finding this expression. Okay. So this is the expression. Okay. So N is equal to Ni times e to the power EF minus E of F of I divided by KT. Okay. Similar expression is there for the holes concentration. Instead of positive sign here, we will be having the negative sign. Okay. So this is the negative. These are the formula you need to remember in order to solve the multiple questions. But you can just see that N is greater equal to Ni if the EF is greater equal to EF of Fi. Okay, so we will be looking at the Fermi position of the Fermi level for the extrinsic semiconductor and what is the effect of the temperature on the Fermi levels. Okay, these things we will be looking at in the next lectures. Okay, so thank you.